Hello everyone, it's a lovely sunny day here at the allotment. It's the 29th of June 2026 and so much has come up. Everything's just bursting into life and fruiting. So let's see how things are getting on so far. Popped a courgette in. This one is called Black Beauty, I think. Was really slow to start, but it's producing flowers now. And at the base of one of the flowers is a sign of the first baby courgette. I don't know if you can see that. So in the first bed I've just put some dwarf French beans in. There's two varieties. One is tender green. I direct sowed these into the ground and they're coming up really well, better than the ones I started off at home, which are called Slenderette. You can see they've grown really leggy. The carrots are doing really well, but they're much more lush and green and higher at the lower end of the border than the ones at the top. So all the water runs off down that way. The broad beans are looking fantastic. You can see them there. I'm going to pick some tonight and take them home for dinner. They're ready now because you can see the beans inside bulging through the pods. I've put in some squash plants here and there. I've got two varieties. One is called Blaze and the other is a Japanese variety I can't pronounce the name of, but they produce sort of small round squashes. Again, they were really slow to start, but they're coming on now. The strawberries are over now. They fruited. I had a few of them, but I didn't put anything underneath them, so slugs and all sorts had a bit of a go at them, but I'm not too bothered about those. Down here I've just whacked a sweet potato in I had in the fridge at home. I rooted it indoors and it's got some growth on it now at the top. I just thought I'd try it because it's quite warm here at the moment and see how it goes. If it produces anything, then maybe I'll do some in bags next year. The strawberries, as I was talking about, are producing runners as they should. Don't know if you can see them there, and they're actually rooting, so they're going to be next year's strawberries. Row of garlic. This was the third row of garlic I put in. It's doing quite well. The chard has gone absolutely mental. It's at least 2 foot high, if not more, right now, and I've been picking it and eating it, but there's only so much chard you can eat, and I've actually had to start picking some and throwing it away, putting it in the compost bin just to get it away from the spring onions, which are coming along really nicely. There's a nice fat one down there. These two I'm going to let run to seed, so I've got seeds for next year. I started some basil seeds off at home in a pot on a windowsill, the ones that VJ sent me, and they weren't doing too well at home, so I've whacked them in the ground and they're coming on quite nicely, just getting established. The chives are doing quite well. I'm going to have to start picking that and eating it soon. Got a little pot of thyme down here, which was also in VJ seeds. I started off at home, and that's very happy. I've got 4 varieties of tomatoes in here that were freebies from plant stalls, and they also were slow to start, but they're coming on and I've just been pinching the side tips out as you should and tying them up, and they're flowering now, so I should expect some fruit soon. One of them seems to want to go its own way though. This was a cross between the natural tomato and something else. It's called Matt's hybrid or something like that, so I'm quite keen to see what that's going to look like. I had a butternut squash in the fridge at home that was starting to go bad, so I brought it down here. It was a big one, and chopped it up with a spade and put it in the compost heap, and some seeds fell out, so I thought I'd just whack them in the ground. Had 5 seeds, they all came up, one got munched, you can see 2 there. I've whacked the healthiest one in the ground, just covered it with a hanging basket to stop birds get into it, and that's doing quite well. So not tried butternut squash before, so we're going to see how well they fruit. My next door neighbour over that way, she says she did it last year and they produce smaller fruits than you get in the supermarket. There were some evening primrose plants that I spotted on the plot when I took it on, and I just transplanted to either side of the borders. They've got really big and they're in full flower now in the day, and I've had to chop them back, but I do like, you know, just to keep them away from the path. I do like evening primroses, and I thought they'd be good for the bees, provide a bit of colour. Only problem is when I walk past, pollen gets all over me. So there were lots of sunflowers popping up on the side when I took it on. I just transplanted some of them here and there and let some grow where they are. I put a few along the wall border, and they are doing really well. Some better than others. This is the biggest one that I've got, and I'm 6'2", so 6'2" is about there, so it's almost a foot over. It's got a nice flower head coming on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that's the flower's gonna look like. I built a bee house. I had an old CD rack at home, CD shelving rack at home, and I got some pallets from work and chopped up sections of them and just drilled holes in them. Hopefully I'm gonna get some leafcutter bees in there, but can't see anything going in at the moment. Also, the lower parts of the shelves have been quite handy for storing things. Got my brushes in here. These have been invaluable on the allotment because it's so sandy here, everything gets covered in sand from the soil. So I'm always brushing stuff off and cleaning my tools afterwards. This stiff one is excellent for cleaning the tools after you've used them, which is always good practice. And I've got my plastic bottles that I used to cover the sunflowers with. Look at the size of that one, look. It's massive. The Cara main crop potatoes have absolutely taken over the bed. So much so they were growing onto the path. So I've just made a batten frame just to retain them from the path. This was a new seed path that I laid, and it looks absolutely brilliant. The leeks, they're in flower now, and all the little winged beasties love them. Got 2 more sunflowers here, and I've actually got one, my first one, coming into flower. I stupidly put a courgette down there thinking there would be space, but I didn't realise how much the potatoes would spread, so it's kind of grown up quite leggy, taller than the other one. So I've swiped the potatoes aside and just retained them with a couple of bamboo canes and some string, and they're producing flowers now, and I can see one fruit forming already. Curious thing about the potatoes is these little things. They're called potato berries, and they're the natural fruit of the potatoes. It shows that the flower's been successfully pollinated. Now you can't eat these, they're quite toxic, and they recommend just to pull them off so that the energy goes back into the plant. So that's what I've been doing. The sweet peas I put in were very, very slow to start, but they're actually coming up now quite well. There's even some flower buds forming, but nothing pretty yet. Very, very soon, I hope, though. Marjoram I put in from seed, that's coming up nicely. This clump here, which is going to be ready for chopping soon. And I've just popped a few more sunflowers in that I found about the place. The raspberries have done wonderfully, and they're just about going over now. I had to net them early on because the birds were having a go at them and just leaving mush and bits and pieces all over the floor, but actually very, very tasty, and I've been eating them pretty much every day. But the new canes coming up, next year's ones, have been a bit bent by the netting, so I've been poking them through as best as I can, but it just means we'll probably have bent canes for next year. I'll probably take the netting off soon anyway. I painted my little windmill and made a few modifications to make it spin easier. And I do have another idea. Won't tell you at the moment. I'm trying to think it out. But I just like looking at it. Right, well, I'm going to say goodbye for now and get on with some more weeding probably, and I'll speak to you next time.